You thought the splints were easy, right? Put your elbow right up there. So every plaster cast is going to get some type of splint in it. Short arm cast is going to get volar splint. Short arm thumb spica is going to get a short arm thumb spica splint. Kind of on and on and on. Ulnar gutter cast or short arm cobra cast can get an ulnar gutter splint in it as well. When I say in it, you actually sandwich it in between layers of plaster that you roll on. Got it? Fiberglass, you won't need to splint. Fiberglass a little bit stronger, but again, it doesn't mold as well. You are all going to be showing me your work in plaster, but we will be rolling some fiberglass as well. But I'm going to demo one in plaster, one in fiberglass. And the main reason for that is because there's different sizes. I use 4-inch plaster when I roll this cast, and I'll use 2-inch fiberglass for the same cast. Got it? I only have 3-inch fiberglass, so that's what I'm using for you. Already you notice the difference I'm using stockinette. Okay? What's the purpose of stockinette?
Comfort?
No, really, just to keep patients from pulling out your Weberl. Now over at UCSD, all their splints have stockinette on it as well. So you would put stockinette on first, then your padding. You can make the stockinette, you can make it look a little bit nicer, especially around the edges. Same positions as your volar splint. 20 degrees, dorsiflexion, slight pronation, not full pronation, just slight. Now, the thumb. This gets tricky. Some people pad the thumb so many different ways. They'll put a piece of stockinette on it. You guys will struggle with this for years. Trying to make that thumb look nice. Okay? I am not that anal about how it looks. Do you want to know why? It's going to come back looking like crap anyhow. Okay? These patients pull stuff out of their cast constantly.
Is it kind of like the whole, like if there's drywall chipping, people like to, pick at it? That
Yes,
kind of thing?
absolutely. I don't know. I don't think my casts look that bad, and I don't do what a lot of people do with their thumbs. The cast doesn't get nearly as much padding. So I've done 3 or 4 layers just right around the border. I'll come back, maybe hit the radial ulnar styloid. I come up through the thumb at least twice. That's the only padding I do. So how many layers of padding is in a cast versus a splint? How many is in a splint?
5
How many is in a cast? 2 to 3. That's it. Too much padding in a cast equals too much space in a cast. So I've already pre-cut my splint, because I don't want to have to deal with that. I'm pretty close. In the middle of trying to roll. I suggest you do the same thing. Now I'm going to try to do this cast with one roll, although his arm's kind of big, so I'm going to end up throwing some of this away. I have a feeling it's going to take me every bit of this, a splint, and a little bit of this roll. Just because you have extra material doesn't mean you have to use it. Big mistake would be to use material you don't need. Question?
For the volar splint, how many layers do you have?
Good question. This is 3 layers.
3 layers?
You're splinting, the purpose of the splints is to splint the weakest areas of the cast. The weakest area of this cast is right in the palm. Okay? What am I treating? Don't look. Pretty much the same stuff as a volar splint, except torus fracture will be in there, maybe some metacarpal fractures. So maybe if it's mid-shaft or proximal, you can treat a metacarpal fracture in just a straight short arm cast. not what they prefer to do. At least at Kaiser, we end up putting everybody in owner gutter casts or outriggers. But I have treated just straight, especially proximal or base metacarpal fractures in a short arm cast. What about you guys? If it's at the base?
Yeah.
Chris, what's a torus fracture again?
Torus fracture is a distal radius fracture.
Distal radius?
It's a distal radius fracture in kids, where you kind of like break just one cortex of the bone. Now see how I did that? I spun that. Some people don't like to do that. When I spin that, that's like, what, 4 or 5 layers easy? Put that right in the web space. I cut every time after that initial one. Notice how I never roll my plaster any higher than when I first laid it on there. This is where you want to get really good at what we call a tuck and roll. I'm kind of steering my plaster. So technically, pull back my stockinette. Did you guys see how I did that? Relax, man. Peel back my web roll. Made the whole thenar area padded. That's another thing you guys mess up on. Again, pull back my stockinette. This is all I do for my thumb. I just give it a little snip. And again, some people use a whole nother roll, especially if you're using 3-inch. This would be considered what we call a money roll. I'm going to run out.
Chris, do we have to do that thing where we wear a cast
Yes.
for 24 hours? Is that what we're doing today?
Nope.
No.
I'll give you warning for that. Again, if I don't need the material, don't waste it. So I will just do what I was going to do. Go through the web space 2 more times.
With that 24-hour thing.
And again, this last layer is just for looks. Look out! See how it's not even close to being dry. He's not in the right position. He's radial deviated. He's flexing his wrist. Correcting one right now.
Would you like us to put on that last layer?
Absolutely. I would like for you to produce something that looks like this. See how messy I got them? When you're laminating your plaster, try to laminate all one direction. Your 60s handshake. I still got plenty of time.
Is this one wetter? By choice?
What do you mean?
Seemed like you really left it really wet.
No, it was the same. One's drying. That's why I try to do it all in one, or if I know for sure that I'm going to use more than one, I'll dip it all at the same time.
So you kind of laminate after you apply the roll.
You did. And did you see me laminate in between layers as well?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So as I was rolling down, showing you guys the tuck and roll, I was laminating, and then when I put the splint in, I laminated again, and then when I did my last roll, I laminated again. So you're laminating in between the layers. And then the last one, again, this is really just for looks. You really want to to really make your plaster look nice, go all the same direction.
You guys do cast and plaster, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay, dude.
All of our reductions are done in plaster. All of them. And some old ladies. Yeah, I know you're thinking, some of them really old, maybe been on prednisone for a long time, have very frail skin. They do a lot better in plaster than fiberglass. It's heavier, but I will tell you, you could take this cast, cut it off, put one in fiberglass, and after 2 days of this curing, the weight is, it's more, but it's not like a pound. It's not even a half a pound. You're talking grams difference between the two. Okay? Now a short leg cast would be a little bit different. That would be maybe a half pound more. Again, this is nothing but cotton. See how the stockinette folds it and keeps it away from the patient? Same with up here. Nothing but nice, smooth cotton. Parameter, he can bend his fingers all the way down. You know you have cotton all through here. I showed you that. Got it? Clean them up.
Don't move.
Everywhere. Blue towels, man.
In a new bag. Oh.
You clean them up. They don't clean themselves up. Before you bring it to me. Do you see any difference in position between this and a volar splint?
No.
None. What about parameters? Same. One just goes all the way, wraps around. The other one just on the volar side, right? Now they don't. It doesn't have to be spotless, but it can't look like what I just want them cleaned up. Get used to it, because patients like it when you clean them up. Now, you take your other arm, stick that up here. Nope, that one. Elbow.
Hey, Chris,
Take that one
Oh,
away.
we're doing that on.
when you fucking roll, are you just spreading it and then pulling it?
When I tuck and roll.
Yeah, what exactly are you doing?
So basically, as the plaster is rolling down the arm, the plaster wants to go one direction. It wants to go like